Hi everybody, this is Mike Hamrick over at the Wilwood Disc Brakes booth at SEMA 2024. We've got Cruisin' USA stopped by. I wanted to go over something that a lot of people don't realize. We'll be at like a Good Guys car event, and somebody will walk by and not want to walk into the booth because I feel like they get a little overwhelmed with all the choices that companies like Wilwood have for brake systems. What I wanted to do is explain to you that sometimes we're going to ask you the questions that are going to narrow down what you need. Now, there's a difference between needing and wanting. Everybody wants this, but sometimes you might only need this, and this is going to be a lot less expensive than that. We want to make sure that we're getting you narrowed down to something that's going to work best for what you're going to do with the car. So let's start with, I'm going to ask you what the year, make, model is. The next thing I'm going to ask you is, what are you going to do with the car? Or is it just going to be a weekend car? Are you going to try to autocross it a little bit? Are you going to go to do track days? How many track days? The next thing I'm going to ask is, who's going to drive it? Are you going to drive it? Are you and your wife or girlfriend going to drive the car? Maybe you're building this so that you and your 16-year-old son can go have a good time. I want to know who's driving it so that we even know more about how much brake we need to put into your system. The last thing we're going to ask, because we need to know what it's going to fit, is what size wheel. So let's just take, for example, you've got a 69 Camaro. The car was your father's, and now your son and yourself are going to work on this thing, and it has drum brakes in the front. But what you want to do is make it a little more drivable, but stay with a 15-inch wheel. Well, a lot of people think that they've got to go way over here with a larger brake system to make it stop, like a modern car, but that's false. What we're going to do is look at the brake that's going to fit that wheel, then tell you what it's going to do. Now, if you said it's going to be a 15-inch wheel, my son and I are going to do nothing but weekend cruises, but you know what? He might want to try to do an autocross. Our 11-inch brake systems are going to be more than enough for you then, okay? But let's say that the same father and son team say, we're also going to go to a 17-inch or larger wheel, maybe an 18. Well, that means that we can fit more brake into it. But now we need to start looking at how much performance driving you're going to do versus also the aesthetics that you're looking for. So then we're going to move more towards this side. And we're going to look at our 12-inch brake systems and 13-inch brake systems that'll fit in a 17-inch wheel. If the father and son are going to cruise it on the weekends and still just do a couple little autocrosses, the 12-inch brake is more than enough and much more affordable than making the step up to the 6-piston 13-inch brake system. So let's say that they want that aesthetic and they want it to perform really well, they might want to spend more money. And that's okay, but we're going to tell them what the benefits of doing that is going to be. Now, with this same brake system, if you said, I'm going to start doing a lot of pro touring stuff with that car, and we're going to run an 18-inch wheel with a super sticky tire, like a 200 treadwear tire, we're going to tell you, you're going to need to go over to this side of the spectrum. So maybe this Superlight kit with either a 13 or 14-inch rotor, or what you're going to find on a lot of the fast Optima cars that are in pro touring, more of our 14-inch Aerolite. That's going to be something that we're going to really talk to you about to make sure that we're also not giving you too much brake that you're never going to use. Don't get me wrong, this looks really nice inside of your 18-inch wheel, but it doesn't mean that you need it, okay? Then let's go to the full spectrum. This one's for 19-inch wheels, but we make it also for an 18-inch wheel. If it's going to be somebody that does almost everything on a road course and a lot of autocrossing and probably tows their muscle car to the track, he probably needs this larger SX6R kit. And something that people don't realize is calipers don't get bigger because they stop better. They actually get bigger because they hold a bigger brake pad so it lasts longer and we have more cooling efficiency. So I wanted to make sure that we talk to you guys, and next time you see us at an event, let's say SEMA or a Good Guys event or your local car show and we're there, make sure you stop by and talk to us about your different applications for what is going to be best for your car and your use.